Are you worried one of your suppliers is going to go under, maybe hit by an unexpected tariff right before shipment? Do you just want to lower the volatility of your product supply chain by having a second supplier for a popular private label item? If you answered yes to any of these questions, this video is for you. And my name is Ryan Kelly. I'm a certified CQIA, and I'm also a quality assurance engineer, and I'll help answer these questions for you. So, the main problem of this is customers getting different products. So, I'm going to break this down a bit more and just say we have two suppliers, supplier A and supplier B. Both suppliers might make pencils for you, for your company, called pencils. Supplier A has been your existing supplier. They've been great. They've been great partners. You've had some issues with them, but you've worked through those quality issues, and now they're a better supplier because of it. And now you want to add on a second supplier, that's supplier B, because they're out of a different country. Let's say they're out of Cambodia. And you want to verify that they are just as good as supplier A. How do you do that? So it's a great question, because the last thing that you want is your customer to maybe have a good experience ordering your products from supplier A. Pencils has a great reputation because of it. Now they reorder, and now they get their product from supplier B, and it's very different. Maybe it's different in performance, in its color, dimensions, maybe materials. So, how do you outline all of those? Well, solution number one is product specifications. So, what this is, and I've mentioned this a couple times in other videos, but in this case, this is an agreement between you and the supplier on a whole bunch of things for your product. And mainly it's performance, but you can have color, you could have dimensions, you could have materials listed out, but essentially it's an agreement just between you and the supplier on the product and how that product should behave and perform, not only in the supply chain but also in the customer's hands. So the main thing that you want to do is you want to send them your current production mockup. So you should already have standards already set with supplier A. If not, outline those now. Maybe do some third-party tests on supplier A's product, maybe even some competitors, and you want to benchmark all of those together and verify where your product currently performs. Maybe you get some color readings on the paint. Maybe you get some coating adhesion done on the paint, and you set those standards. That way, when a second supplier does come up, you can tell them, hey, these are our standards for our pencils. You need to meet this to make sure that our customer has the same experience no matter which supplier they go to. So that's solution number one. There are two more solutions, but I'll take a quick pause there. If you found this information valuable so far, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please comment them down below and I can answer them in a future video. So, solution number two is sharing quality controls. So, this is something where if you've run into issues with your first supplier, supplier A, and let's say you had a problem already with coating adhesion and it was because of the time of year. It was too humid outside in the factory and the paint didn't adhere as well as it should have. But you found this out already with supplier A. This is something you want to share with supplier B. Make sure that they know that, hey, in case you didn't know, we've seen an issue previously with high humidity that the paint gets peeled off during the production process, and you either need to do it at a different time or you need to have these extra measures in place during this season, maybe this time of year, something like that. you want to share all that information from supplier A over to supplier B. You're not trying to give one a competitive advantage or the over the other. You're trying to make sure that you have a consistent product throughout either. So, and if that means that using your lessons learned from company A that transfers over into company B will be very excited to hear that they don't have to make this mistake and that you already know the solution to it. So, you want to make sure that those are in line and they're not different too. Maybe it means visiting supplier A too. Maybe you haven't visited them before. You've been kind of just trusting them, which is fine, as long as you've been verifying their product, that's okay. Maybe you want to make a visit to factory A or supplier A and then take a visit to supplier B or supplier C, whoever the future suppliers are, and look at their different quality controls. There might actually be something that you learned from supplier B that you want to bring back to supplier A. So that's really an advantage for you as well, is to look at those two suppliers. One might have a better factory than the other, might be the second one, might be supplier B. And you want to be able to share those lessons learned between the two. Maybe ask the new supplier about what issues they've already seen in their pencils, if assuming they've already been producing them, and then use those to break down and make both of your suppliers better. So, solution number 3, and this is the final solution, is golden samples. So, if you don't know what a golden sample is, it's essentially a product that you get from the manufacturer that says, this is what our production will look like. So, it's not exactly the samples that you might receive to initially vet a supplier, because those might not be full production capacity. A golden sample is full production. This is an agreement that they send you a sample. Maybe they hold on to one. Let's say they do a pilot run of production and they keep a sample and you get one sample. This is the golden sample on your case, and this will always be the sample that might be referred back to. If let's say there's an issue on the product line and they're saying that, hey, this color isn't what we wanted, that you have to compare that to your golden sample. If the golden sample is the same color and the pencil that you're producing that you're saying has an issue is the same color as the golden sample, you don't really have a case to say, hey, we expected something else, we wanted something else, because the golden sample is that standard. So that's something that you can hold on to, and the factory can hold on to. That way, the factory can backtrack, sorry, and look at what that golden sample is. If it is the color, if it is the dimensions, the size, the materials, the golden sample will always be the part that they want to look back on. So have a golden sample, have one from both suppliers, have one supplier A, because you should already have that in your process. Get a golden sample from supplier B, have those sit next to each other. Maybe you send your sample from supplier A over to supplier B and let them know, this is what I expect it to look like, this is what I expect it to perform like, and mock something up like that. Then you could have your golden samples from A and B next to each other. Look at them. If there is a difference, make sure you're okay with that difference. Make sure it's not a totally different customer experience or anything else like that. So that's the multiple ways you could help verify a supplier. I'll throw in an extra tip too, for if you do have an extra supplier, I'd make sure that you could verify their capacity too, because like I mentioned at the beginning, if there is an unexpected tariff and you want to swap between the two factories and just have supplier B make all of your pencils because of said tariff, you want to make sure that you could transition production over to them completely. and you want to be able to do it quickly. So if your full capacity is 1,000 pencils a day, that's how many you need. And currently you have it split up 500 and 500. You want to make sure that one supplier can do all 1,000 pencils a day. If that's your full production capacity, you want to make sure they could outline that quickly so you can pick up on supply at a moment's notice. So that's how you vet a second supplier. If you found this information valuable, please like and subscribe. If you have any additional questions, please comment them down below for a future video. Thank you for your time.